friends. Welcome back to the channel. This is Matt in the Man Cave with my beautiful wife, Tracey from
Esther
414
414
Ministries. And
Ministries.
today I want to share a message about finding strength in weakness. And I don't know about you, but a lot of times at the end of the day, I am literally worn out
Yeah.
mentally, physically, sometimes even spiritually, meaning I've tried to
Yeah.
live the Christian life in my own strength and
Uh-huh.
faltered. I feel overwhelmed sometimes. And hey, if you can mark any of those boxes, this devotion is for you. Tracy, would you read Paul's flagship epistle, 2 Corinthians 12:9?
Yes. But he said to me, my grace is enough for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. So then, I will boast most gladly about my weaknesses, so that the power of Christ may reside in me.
When I hear you, you know what comes to mind?
Huh.
Just jumps right out. God's power isn't limited by my weakness. No matter how weak I am, no matter how I feel, God is enough.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? I mean, you would think if someone's helping me move and I'm carrying a couch up a ramp into a U-Haul, because people are always asking me, Matt, will you help me move? And I need to just say no, right? Because my knees are killing me, my ankles are killing me. But let's just say, okay, we're lifting a piano, and this has happened to me before, and I'm lifting my end, and this other person is not lifting their end, and this other
Yeah.
person is yelling at me, lift more. And I'm like, I'm giving you everything I got. Now imagine it's me and God lifting the piano.
Uh-huh.
Okay? God can lift the piano
You're right.
all the way up into the U-Haul. Okay?
Right.
He
Yeah.
doesn't need me. So no matter how weak I am, exhausted, spent, God is enough. He literally is enough. You know, and I have to cling to those moments that God's grace is enough in my deepest of weaknesses. And every one of us is weak in some area of our lives.
Yeah.
Sometimes
At
we're,
least one area, I
yeah,
would
at
say. Yeah.
least. And I don't even want to go down memory lane. I mean, I honestly have had a really tough day, and I was thinking, you know what, I'm going to talk about weakness because right now I feel so weak, spiritually speaking. You know, I was
Yeah.
reading this morning and nothing was jumping off of the pages, and I was really frustrated. You know, it's good, it's a good read, but it's not like
Yeah.
it normally is. And then my knee, I was driving to go get some chickens. I get chickens at Costco, and that's an hour drive, and I couldn't stretch out my legs, and my knees were killing me.
Oh,
And mentally, it was one of those days. It was a tough day. It
yeah,
really,
yeah,
really
yeah.
was. And I'm guessing that everyone listening to this has had tough days, or maybe you're having a tough season. I think what God wants us from us is to acknowledge our weakness. Meaning, God, I need help.
Yeah, I
God,
can't, but you
I mean,
can.
yeah, I mean, Cowboy Up is really overrated. You know what I'm saying? I mean, when we think about Cowboy Up, and
Yeah,
if we go
yeah.
to Romans 9, and I was just talking about this in my devotion yesterday about election, about Jacob and Esau, and the text tells us why they were still in the womb,
Yeah.
that God said, Jacob have I loved, Esau have I hated. Meaning hating that lifestyle that's independent. That's what he was hating. And Jacob was following the spirit, Esau was following the flesh. I can do it in my own strength. And we can't. We think we can,
Yeah.
but go to the doctor. I mean, honestly, go to the doctor and something's wrong with you and something that you have no control over whatsoever. I mean, you feel vulnerable, but here's the thing: we acknowledge our weakness to God, and we have to be honest with God. Tell Him really what we're feeling, what we're going through. This is what's going on. Why haven't you healed me yet? I prayed yesterday. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And guys, listen. You have to be perseverant. I've been praying for my knees that have been killing me for 3 years now. I mean, really, and I mean, sometimes it feels like a screwdriver that's been in the fires going into the side. So I don't hold back when I'm praying to the Lord. I'm like, Lord, this is how I'm feeling. This is what's going on. Will you help me? I need to lean on what He's already spoken to me. He's told me my grace is enough. which means this: I am enough. Take me upon you. That's what he wants us to do. Take God upon us. Rest in that. Share your story. I'm able to minister to other people um, just because of the things that I've gone through in life. But we don't realize. I was talking to a guy. We were in Dollywood. We were on the trolley, and he was driving the trolley. And when we got off, I was talking to him about his knees.
Oh, right. I remember
and
that.
And he
yeah.
was telling me all this stuff. I was like, yeah, that's what's going on with my knees. Yeah, and I go, what did you do? And he was telling me, he says, well, I waited a long time before I did anything. But here's the thing, because he had gone through it.
Yeah.
He could relate to what I was going through, and he was telling me everything. But in life, the storms that God allows us to go through, and those seasons where we just feel so weak, here's the thing, that is our story, and we're going to use that story, and we're going to tell that story.
And yet, it encourages other people that it's so funny because it doesn't have to be anything hugely profound or anything like that. But it's something that they can understand, they can relate to. You've been there, you're like, yeah, I understand, I've been there, I've gone through that. And then a lot of times what it comes back to, though, because when someone says, well, what did you do? Well, this is where you go to the Lord and you say, oh, well, I prayed and I asked the Lord to help me.
Yeah.
And he gave me the strength. He gave me, and it's funny.
The endurance.
And he'd show me verses and passages, and that you start claiming them as your own, and you start
writing them down.
Yeah,
You've got to write down these verses.
And you start realizing how you rely on the Lord
you have
in these different situations.
Guys, if you have a pencil and pen, write the 2 Corinthians 12:9, Isaiah 40:29, Philippians 4:13. You read them, you write them, you highlight them, you pray them to God.
Yeah.
And I love what
C.S.
C.S. Lewis.
His word to him.
You're praying back God's word to him. But I love what C.S. Lewis said. Prayer doesn't change God.
Yeah.
It changes me.
Mm-hmm.
And it helps me to deal with things differently. Because I'm praying, God, would you please heal my knees? And so I really want God to speak a word from the throne room because I know he can.
Yeah.
I wake up,
and
there's no more pain.
Instantaneous.
There's no more pain.
Mm-hmm.
But the next morning when I'm in pain, I go back to the Lord.
Yeah.
I don't know that my prayer life has been lagging and it sucks. And so God has allowed a thorn in my flesh, thorns, okay, because I'm always crying out to God. I'm always praising God and praying for healing from God. But it's so important that we share where we are, how we feel, and we ask him, what do you want me to do? You know the story, where Jesus is talking to the guy, and Jesus says, what do you want me to do? Be specific. Don't beat around the bush. Stop pussyfooting around with the Lord, okay? And if he decides for you right now to wait, he'll give you the strength to endure whatever you're going through.
And sometimes he allows these different things in our lives because we had a lack of compassion for others in that certain area, maybe. And then all of a sudden when you are experiencing it, you're just like, oh, Lord,
Can I tell the story? Can I tell the story?
I don't know.
I don't know how to tell the story without throwing myself under the bus, but
I wouldn't tell it.
I'm going to tell it in such a vague way, but there was a person, and they had this ailment, and I basically was saying, well, if they would have done this and this, they wouldn't have this problem. All right?
You've done this a couple different times.
I've done this several times, all right? And you know what that is? That's a form of judging. You can't do that.
And pride.
Yeah. And lo and behold, what did God do?
He allowed you to
very
experience.
thing that I was talking trash about, the very thing, okay, he put on me.
Yeah.
And I was like, the first thing I thought of, oh my gosh, I know why I'm suffering this way. This is, this was a while back. I know why I'm going through this because of what I said. I was arrogant. I was prideful. I don't know anything about that person.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just, sometimes we pop off.
Yeah.
And I have to understand, look at, yes, God's children, people who have been born again, yes, they're going to heaven. But God loves his creation.
Yeah.
He really does. And the point here is this. Do you remember when Moses struck the rock twice?
Yeah.
God loved Moses. Okay? Moses was a great leader.
Mm.
But Moses had it up to here with the people. They were complaining. They were arguing. They didn't like Moses. They were
Yeah.
talking trash. And God said, "Speak to the rock." But he had it. So, he was just filled to the brim.
Yeah.
He starts going off, "You rebels," and he smacks the rock twice.
Yeah.
And basically what Moses forgot was, yes, they're not in right relationship with me. Yes, they are in sin, but they're mine.
Mhm.
That's my creation. You don't treat them like that. And he says,
Yeah.
you're not going into the promised land. He
Mm.
lost the promised land because he was. And so, guys, sometimes
Yeah.
we are suffering because of our own doing. Nobody wants to hear that.
Yeah.
Nobody. I don't want to
on
hear
something.
it, and I didn't want to hear it, but it's
Yeah.
the truth.
Yeah.
And I've really reeled it in from years
Oh.
back.
Yeah.
I just really have pulled back so I don't talk about other people. It's none of my business.
Do you know?
What a person. I hope, let me just say it this way. I hope you get in right relationship with God. I hope God uses you. I hope God blesses you. I hope God's face shines upon you.
Uh-huh.
But I got to say this. Your life has nothing to do with me, okay?
Yeah.
I can't judge you for what you believe and don't believe, okay? I'm not going to be standing next to you, holding your hand with King Jesus as you're standing before God the
And
Father.
so many times we like to say, well, I would do such and such if I were in that situation.
Yeah.
You don't know
You don't
until
know.
you might be
You
put into
never,
that situation.
Ever.
Yeah.
And you know,
Because you're saying that now
until you walk
you're-
in another
you're-
man's shoes.
you know what you're doing? You're putting yourself in the place of God.
Yeah.
Because you're saying, I know what I would do. So now
But you're not that person.
You're imparting omniscience to yourself.
Yeah.
So you've really just this is why God comes in and chastises a
sometimes
person
you can
for
preach
this.
something and say something over the years, and it sounds so good.
Yeah.
Don't talk about people unless you've been in their shoes. No, I don't care if you've been in their shoes or their boots or their Keens or their Nikes. I don't care if you've walked alongside them all your life. You don't have the right to judge someone else.
No.
No, don't. What's the saying? I can't even remember the saying. Until you put, the saying, Hannah? What's the saying? About,
Don't.
Don't judge someone until you've been in their shoes?
Yeah.
Don't judge them? Okay,
Yeah.
so don't judge someone until you walked in their shoes. You
Yeah.
still don't judge them.
Yeah.
In the measure, God says, in the measure you measure it
measure it.
out, it will be measured to you.
Back to you. Yeah.
I am suffering
Yeah.
in areas of my life because of what I spoke, thought, and did years back. And I've repented of it.
Yeah.
Lord, hear my prayer. I've repented. I'm a changed man. But here's the thing. In that season, okay, because there was a point in time when even the great man Job, everything changed.
Yeah.
And God asked him
Yeah.
to pray for his quotes so-called friends.
Yeah.
They weren't friends. They
Oh,
were
man,
badgering him.
Yeah, they were.
And I don't think in the beginning, before all of the plagues hit Job, he would have been able to do it. But because of the pain
yeah.
that he went through when God asked him, I want you to pray for your friends and sacrifice animals on their behalf.
Yeah.
He did. Okay? And then it said this, and the Lord accepted Job.
I would say that it wasn't just the plagues after he experienced that. It was starting in chapter 38. Where were you, Job?
Oh, no, he got
when,
trashed.
when the Lord came and he really humbled Job.
Yeah, where were you, Job?
Yeah, where were you, Job, when this is the Lord speaking to Job.
So, and I
Yeah,
guarantee Job was praying, Lord, heal me. And no one, I don't care. I'm tired of people telling me how long Job suffered. We don't know.
The Bible doesn't tell
when
us.
the Bible's silent,
Yeah.
Calvin said, you shut up.
Yeah.
You don't add to. You don't say,
No.
I think. There's
No.
nothing in that storyline that's going to tell us how long he suffered. It could have been years.
Yeah, and and I love
Ugh.
this. We had a teacher at seminary,
Uh-huh.
and this was the one great thing that this guy taught us. It was in Memphis.
There
that
wasn't
was,
much in Memphis.
there was a great principle he taught.
Yeah.
He
Is
said
this,
that
is this Milliken?
no. This
Miller?
no
It
this
doesn't
no
matter.
no
Go
no
ahead.
no.
Go ahead.
Okay, he was talking about how there are principles and things that are stated in the Bible,
Yes.
and it's like a bridge, so going across the
Oh,
water.
I remember. Yes,
And
yes, yes,
there
yes.
are these pillars that hold up the
Especially
bridge.
if you've been to Florida.
Yeah,
You know
and
what I'm
a
saying?
causeway, going
Causeway.
across
I mean,
the water
you're
and
just
stuff.
traveling over water. It's just one long bridge that
And,
goes for 30 and 40
like,
miles.
I lived in Michigan, and there was a bridge called the Blue Water Bridge,
Okay.
and it went from Michigan over to Canada, and it was a big bridge,
Alrighty.
and there was just certain things that would
Pillars holding it up.
pillars holding it up,
Right.
exactly.
That's
um,
the pillars represent what God has said.
Yeah, exactly.
But we
And
don't fill in between the
people are
pillars.
always trying to fill in that area between the two pillars
Do you know,
with great,
I wish
figuring
I
what
had,
they think
you ready for
was
this?
going to say.
I wish
would-
I had $1 for every time that I heard a preacher fill in what Jesus was writing on the dirt,
Oh,
on the
yeah.
ground,
Oh,
when
yeah.
the woman was caught in adultery.
People are always trying to fill that gap
I've
in.
heard, I mean, I think I could retire.
Yeah, he's like, if it's not there,
Yeah, yeah.
you don't fill that
Calvin
in.
said, "Shut up."
Yeah, you do not
I
fill
mean,
it in.
The Bible's real clear in Revelation. You know, those who add to the book, you're
yeah.
not gonna like what God says.
No, that's
And so
walking
we
on
gotta avoid
dangerous
that.
ground.
But God says, whether we like it or not, my grace is enough. Meaning,
Yeah.
God's saying, I am enough.
Yeah.
Just me loving you.
Yeah,
God understands what we're going through, how we're
Yeah.
feeling, and again, it's in so many areas of our lives that we can be weak in that state where things are just not working out physically, spiritually, financially, in a relationship. There's just so much going on in life. The complexity of life now has never been higher than it is now. There's just you almost in the Bible says that men's hearts fail them. It's talking about the end times,
right.
because it's just overload. We're overloaded, but yet God says, I'm enough. That's what it means. My grace is sufficient. I'm enough.
Yeah,
You just sitting on the couch, crying out to God and allowing Him to minister to you and
Yeah.
praying. And again, the prayer, it doesn't change God to get to con God, trick God, get God to do something for you. It changes your perspective. And as you're praying,
Yeah.
God gives wisdom
yeah,
on how to handle things differently. Sometimes He will take the thorn away in
yeah,
time,
yeah.
in His time. But like, I've been praying for 3 years about my knees. And I mean, I am in serious pain a lot of the time. Just serious pain. Just terrible pain. Like, I am not even able to go get like a crappy job. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Like, 'cause
yeah.
I always filled in at these factories, and I meet lots of people. And I talk to people about the Lord, and there's a point when I know it's time to leave,
Yeah.
because you can't go into that atmosphere very long before it starts affecting you.
Yeah.
Years back, I was at this job, and we really needed money, and I was working. It was just a terrible job, and I did not. This is just a free one, guys. I did not think it was affecting me. Right, the job. I thought, no,
Yeah.
I'm strong. I'm reading my Bible. I'm doing my devotions. I'm going to church. I'm a tither. I mean, that's them. I'm me. And I remembered, we were eating at the table, and I slipped in my language. I
Yeah.
said something, right? And then I felt justified that what I said, even though it was wrong, was right. See, one of the things that sin does is it hides the truth from you.
Yeah.
And my whole family's looking at me because I used inappropriate language because I was around it all the time.
Yeah.
That's when I knew. And everyone kept on saying, Dad, it's changing you. It's
Yeah.
changing you. You don't
Yeah.
understand. You don't see it. We don't see these
No,
things
we
when we're in
don't.
sin. That's why we have
No.
to cry out to God. It is a great thing if you have a mentor or you have someone close that you can trust,
That
like an
can
elder.
hold you accountable.
Yeah, hold you accountable, but someone you can just share your heart.
Yeah.
Job had 3 rotten friends, and then finally, when Eliphaz comes along, he wants to hit him with the truth hardcore. And everything Eliphaz said, God never said, "Hey, Eliphaz, misrepresented me. You know, he didn't say
Oh,
that.
Elihu.
Elihu. Oh, yeah, I'm thinking of someone else. I'm going blank. I'm tired. I need my coffee, and I do have coffee. All right, guys, we love you. We hope you're having a wonderful day, a wonderful week, and realize, talk to the Lord.
Yeah.
Okay? Get with God. Acknowledge your weakness before him. Lean on his word. Write those prayer requests down. Write those verses down again. 2 Corinthians 12:9, Isaiah 40:29, Philippians 4:13. Share your story of what you've gone through in the past to help someone else out.
Yeah.
Just knowing someone else has gone through this helps me.
Yeah.
Yet my sister-in-law has knee problems, or she did, but guess what? She got it all fixed. And so I love talking to her about, how are your knees? You know what I'm saying? And she says, oh, I'm not in any pain. I'm like, man, I'm in terrible pain. You know what I'm saying? But what's funny is all of us have a story, and all of us have gone through certain things. And if we will just share our story with someone else who's going through someone, a lot of times, you know, we can bridge the gap. Don't have to add to the Bible, but share, hey, this is what God did in my life, and he didn't do it right away, but it really helped me. And, you know, and then always put on the armor of God.
Oh, yeah. Starting your day out
with the armor of God. And then after the armor, it says, above all else, pray. We're praying to God, thanking God, giving him the glory, giving him the honor, and we're remembering we're not alone. We're just not alone in the things that we're going through. Jesus said he learned from the things that he suffered. And so God allows it in this life. I don't like it.
Yeah.
But you can get strong in it by God's grace.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we love you. Give me a thumbs up if you like this, and have a great day. Remember, drink lots of coffee. Eat lots of donuts.
Lots of coffee.
Lots of coffee. Lots of donuts.
You don't have to eat lots of donuts, but you do need to drink lots of coffee.
I was dropping my daughter. We were going to Sam's Club. I was picking up some chickens. And she said, could we please just go and, you know, get a coffee? I was like, yeah, okay. She had a coupon. She has the app. So she goes in. And while she's in Dunkin' Donuts, I'm thinking to myself, you know what? I could really use a big, fat coconut donut. I'm just thinking, I could really use a donut, you know, and I was about to pick up the phone and say, hey, pick me up a donut. But, you know, they want like $2.50 for a donut. So I rarely do that. But she walks out with her coffee, and I see a box of donuts. It was the promised land of donuts. I said, what did you do? Because, you know what I'm saying, she's going to school. She's budgeting.
It's like, we know you're not spending that much.
On the app, if you bought a coffee, you got a half a dozen donuts for $3. I'm like,
which is like 50 cents a donut.
I opened
you know?
up. She let me open up the donuts, and there was a chocolate donut, and there was one of those old-fashioned donuts, and there was a this donut and a that donut, and then there was a coconut donut, and I got to eat my coconut donut. God heard my prayers. We love you guys. Peace.
Bye.